a few times that she was a 21, 22-year-old girl, 23, and she got a little too drunk a few times, and he was the one at home taking care of her. And I think he took advantage of her a few times when she was too drunk to know what was going on. During the 30 years that we've been together, John has done some very questionable things, exposing himself to some of my friends, touching some of my friends. One friend, he may touch him. I work 2 jobs and I'm not home much, but I do know my husband watches a lot of porn, and we're really wondering whether he has watched porn with my granddaughter in the room, or if he's exposed her to any of that. So that's another question that we have. We've been split up for 3 years. I'm in a process of filing for divorce. I just don't have the money right now. If he comes back guilty, he's obviously going to have to leave the house, but I don't know how things are going to work yet. My life is just a shambles right now. Being a victim myself of child molestation through my whole childhood, this is something I talked to my daughter about when she was younger, and I tried to steer her the right way, let her know nobody touched me. She always come to me if anybody, she's always been, honest with me, and I've not had any problems. But now I feel like I failed because I'm not protecting her and the grandbaby, and
the story.
It's really hard on me. I just don't really know what's going to happen. So we're just here for answers. I'm just devastated that this is a cycle that's repeating itself, through the family, and it's time for it to stop. It's got to change.
So he came here, took a lot of detective tests to prove or to get to the bottom of the truth.
I pulled that whole.
So we asked him on that night 3 years ago when Tiffany got drunk. Did you change her clothes?
But I didn't see it sliding down.
He answered no. He did not tell the truth.
I didn't change her clothes.
Of course.
I didn't change her at all.
I woke up in different clothes.
You must have put them on your cell phone. I didn't do it.
Did you ever watch pornography with your 4-year-old granddaughter? He answered no. He did not tell the truth.
I knew it. I knew it.
I didn't do that.
Doing that stuff.
I didn't do that.
God.
Who is
I didn't do that.
Did you ever touch your daughter Tiffany? Did you ever touch your daughter Tiffany for your own sexual gratification? He answered no. He did not tell the truth.
My God!
I didn't do that. Oh my God!
And John just said you believe people.
I didn't do that, guys.
All the time.
I did not do that.
Did you ever
I
touch?
didn't change her clothes. I didn't touch.
Did you ever touch your 4-year-old granddaughter for your own sexual gratification?
Here it is.
Yeah, that shit has strength.
He answered no. He did not tell the truth.
Oh my God! Really?
Oh my God!
The only reason why he got away with you was because you were intoxicated. But with the child, innocent, right?
She didn't know. She didn't even think it was a bad thing.
Right. 4
She
years
was
old.
doing it to me.
You know what?
It's disgusting.
You are one of the sickest bastards I ever had stand on my stage. And
I agree.
you should not be walking around a free society. You truly are one of the guys that been on my stage that needs to be behind bars for a long time. You sick bastard. Get the hell off my stage.
Get the hell off my stage.
Bye. Forever.
Because what he did to you and what he did to your daughter is despicable.
And it's not going to stop.
I wish you all the luck in the world. If we can help in any way, and please let us know what happens with the investigation, what happens with John.
I will for sure.
Thank you, Steve. We appreciate you. You do a great job.
Thank you, and thanks for coming. My name is Steve Wilkos, and I'm an investigative talk show host with a law enforcement background.
It was my life or his.
My job is to get truth and justice for everyday people. Watch our videos now.
See,
Robert, you called my show. Why are you here?
I'm here, Steve, because my daughter told me she's being beaten and molested, and I feel she deserves justice, and I'm here to pretty much find out what's going on with her.
Obviously, you have joint custody with Tiffany.
I do.
And when your daughter returns,
well, my tongue is okay.
It's just
fine.
Well, at first, no. Pretty much when we first got together, I was in the military. I was in the Marine Corps, so I wasn't always there, and she couldn't handle that.
Keep it clean.
It started off, I didn't see my daughter for the first 2 years of her life.
You weren't there because you were serving in the Marines.
I was. And when I came back to my hometown, during leave, I tried calling her. Hey, can I pick her up? She had a sheriff call me saying if I called her again that she'd press harassment charges. So I let it go. About 2011, finally I was actually at a point to where I can be home more, and I went to her house and told her straight up that either you give me my rights as a father or I'm going to take my rights in court. And it was going good for a few. Pretty much I'd get her, on a Sunday, and then I'd take her back Wednesday before work and everything. And then just one day she never showed up. My daughter was with me for 2 months, not a call, nothing. Finally, I had 12 sheriffs knocking at my door at 3:30 in the morning, trying to accuse me of kidnapping my own daughter.
So you're saying you had her. She doesn't come pick up the daughter.
I stayed outside her house for 3 hours, and I called every phone, her cell phone, her parents, her house phone. I stayed in her city because I was in another city, but I stayed in her city for 7 hours before calling the cops myself and DHS to make sure I wouldn't get in trouble for taking her home.
So you take her back home. You got her for 2 months. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I just got off work. I worked a little bit late. I was expecting no call. There's no text, no email, nothing. And then there's a pound at the door. And I open it, and there's literally 12 sheriffs there with, anger at me because they're thinking I'm kidnapping my daughter, coming at me. So I was like, hey, we heard that you have your daughter and that you're keeping her from mom. And I explained everything to them. And then from that point, I told them, unless there's a court order in my hand now, because I'm going to take it to court, unless there's a court order, she can't have her then.
You're going to keep your daughter.
Well, pretty much, because if that's how she's acting, where she
right? No, and I'm
care.
not saying you did anything
Well,
wrong.
no,
I'm saying I agree with you.
She didn't care. So if you don't care enough to come pick up your kid for 2 months, and you could have just called. And
during this 2 months, did you ever contact her? Did she ever say, "Hey,
I gave up contacting her when there was no response"?
But during that 2 months, she never got in touch with you.
Nope. And she knew where I worked. She, everything. She not a call, nothing. Not even a Facebook message. When we established custody, it was 50-50. Everything was still going okay. We established every other week. And so one day she shows up. She's wearing kind of a long dress. She went to a birthday party. But she was really, really reluctant to take it off. And I'm like, okay, well, it's your mom's dress. I don't want to ruin it because it looks expensive. We need to put you in other clothes. When I finally convinced her and I took her dress off, she had a handprint on her.
You're talking about your daughter.
Yeah, my daughter did. She had a handprint on her arm and multiple bruises. She had a bruise on her neck and multiple bruises other places. Now, when I tried asking her, she got really, really scared, like she was going to get in trouble for telling me. And finally, I'm like, look, I can't help you or protect you if you don't tell me. And the only name she brought up was John. Now, she wouldn't tell me anything about what happened, nothing. She told me the handprint was when he grabbed her, but she was so feared to tell me what happened.
That's a serious handprint.
It is.
Okay. And then we're talking about a very, very young girl here.
So I called her mom and told her we need to talk in person. She wanted to bring her husband. I said it's not the best idea.
Oh, she's very good.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
So we established, I showed her the pictures. I told her, look, that's when I established I don't want him touching my kid. That's not his kid. About June.
Your daughter had a black eye, though.
Yes, she did. That was another kid showed up. Showed up with the black eye, and it was really, really distinct, too. I was at work when she got dropped off, to a family member's house. And what got me, though, was I asked my cousin, did Tiffany say, what happened? Because, if my daughter ever got a bruise with me, when she go home, I'll be like, look, she fell or this happened, explain it. But it's the fact that, exactly, and I know that. But the fact that you drop her off and don't explain nothing, that means to me you're hiding something. So when I tried asking her, my daughter's story changed. First, it was she tripped over a cat.
She tripped over a cat?
Yes. So then I asked her again. I was like, okay, that doesn't explain how you got that. So I asked her again, and she said, well, she fell. So I called her mom. I was like, hey, Tiffany, what happened? And that's when she explained, oh, she fell into a table. And that's only after I told her that's what my daughter stated.
Is she even as tall as the table?
No.
Okay.
And then when I asked her, I said, your mom said you fell into a table. She goes, no, I fell into the chair. So it kept changing. You went from the table to the chair to John again.
And you believe Tiffany is covering for her husband?
Because Tiffany's story changed too. When I told her my daughter stated that it was because of John, oh, she fell into his knee. Well, she said that it was his fist. Oh, well, his hands were on his knees when she fell into it.
When she comes back to us with welts on her back and BBs in her pocket.
Are you saying that he shoots her with a BB gun?
I don't know if it's him or...
Did you call the police?
Tiffany called...
Did you call the police?
I don't know if she called the police or...
So you didn't ask who she called?
There's not even... See, you have no truth.
You didn't ask who she called? See, you think that this little girl was shot with BBs and you don't know who your wife called.
John is the one who puts my daughter to sleep every night, and he tucks her in and gives her hugs and kisses. And he makes sure she has her stuffed animals that she wants to go to sleep with. And when she's hurt or sick, she doesn't come to me, she comes to him. And she would rather curl up on the couch and watch a movie with him than do anything else. She'd rather do that than play with any of her toys or go to the park or anything. She'd rather just sit on the couch and watch a movie with John. I don't think that she could love him that much if he treated her the way that Robert says that he does. I hate him. I hate the fact that he spent the last 6 years of my life trying to make me miserable. And I hate that my daughter hates seeing him. And she cries when she has to go to his house. And she's a mess when she comes back. She's filthy and she's emotional, and it's not fair to her. I know that John would never do anything to hurt my daughter because he loves her so much. He's always questioning her and asking her if we're doing bad things to her, and I think that he's just trying to put it in her head so that he can take her away from us. I just want my husband and my name cleared, and I want him to go away. He can't be a good father, so he shouldn't have the opportunity to try anymore. And I want to prove that Robert is an unfit parent. And that if anybody deserves to get their daughter taken away, it's him. John has been in my daughter's life longer than Robert has, and more consistently. And I think it's perfectly fine for him to discipline her if she needs it. And we checked her out. We set her down on the bathroom counter, and we checked her out, made sure everything was okay. The only thing she had was a bruise and a scrape on this knee and a bruise on that foot.
And you determined, we don't have to take it.
No broken bones, nothing either?
We watched
her.
That?
You watched her. We're talking about a little girl, though. She fell out a window, and you didn't even necessarily, at least, not even an emergency room, but even a doctor to take a look at her. Because you two looked at her.
That he punches her, he smacks her, he touches her down there. What kind of mom lets a guy do that? Your daughter should come before your husband.
My daughter does come before
I can't tell. How many times did she come to us?
Hey, you fat bitch, listen.
I'm pregnant, bitch. It's not
Bitch,
fair.
you were fat before you were pregnant.
I'm pregnant, bitch. It's not fair.
No.
Sorry.
So John came here, and he took a lie detector test, and we asked him, did you ever cause a black eye to your stepdaughter? And he answered no. Besides one time, have you ever hit your stepdaughter, leaving marks or bruises on her? And he answered no. Did you ever have any sexual, physical contact with your stepdaughter? And he answered no. The results for all three questions came back the same, and they came back that John did not tell the truth. Fails for abusing your daughter, and this is what you want to do? You want to collapse that stage?
When he touched my daughter, he beat my daughter, he hurt my daughter, and you know about everything. Your own words is you know about everything that happened.
And with that, you get the hell off my stage. I'm glad you're making the fight for your daughter. I think this is a bad situation for her to be in. It sounds like you already got your ducks in a row. When you get home, we'll obviously help in any way we can, and just do whatever you can to keep protecting that little girl. Good luck to you.
And I think it hurts because I don't know how long it's been going on, and my daughter's been constantly going back to that home. I mean, thankfully now I know better, and I'm going to get full custody.
She's not safe. It showed today she's not safe, and I don't care how much it will cost us, if whatever it takes, she will be out of the house and with him.
My name is Steve Wilkos, and I'm an investigative talk show host with a law enforcement background.
It was my life or his.
My job is to get truth and justice for everyday people. Watch our videos now. Get off my stage! The children had bruises and marks on their back, legs, arms, neck. The horrible burn on your daughter's forehead, a broken foot, injuries that make no sense at all.
You know damn well you've been abusing those kids.
What,
You've admitted to it. I watched you break my son's leg.
Oh, you gonna run now? Your kids go to school and say, Daddy knocks my teeth out. Daddy abuses me.
Mom and girl put that in their head.
That's a serious injury. A child whose almost full forehead got burned off.
Kids will be kids.
Most kids don't light themselves on fire.
It happens.
She later stated that it was done by a blowtorch.
I'm a good father. I keep getting my kids back.
My kids are terrified of you because you abuse them. I know the devil of this man.
Brett is being accused of severely abusing his 3 children. They've had black eyes, choke marks on their necks, bruises, and one child had a 2nd-degree burn on her face that, according to her grandmother, Sands, was caused by a blowtorch. Brett denies abusing his children and says the mother, Elisa, is standing behind these accusations because she wants full custody of their children. Take a look.
They really lost their childhood. I begged their dad many times, just let them be little. Let them be little. The fear in their eyes and them flinching when you're just trying to put on a Halloween costume breaks my heart. My daughter and him have been together since she was 12. I had no idea what our lives were going to change so drastically like they have. I had a pretty good idea when he rubbed dog feces in my daughter's face. It was over an argument. And when they broke up, he wouldn't let her have the kids unless, she had sex with him and stuff. We've had to actually basically keep him happy by in money or whatever he needs, paying utility bills in order just to keep the relationship open with us for the kids. When one of my grandsons was 2 years old, my daughter called me and told me that his father had slammed him to the floor because he crawled up on a counter, and he refused to take him to the hospital and for 4 days, and they found out that his foot was broken. They have come to our home with black eyes, bruises all over their bodies. They've been coming home with 2nd and 3rd degree burns so badly that it burned the nerve endings in her forehead. He claims that she did it by matches, and she later stated that it was done by a blowtorch. I got a frantic phone call that the police were at the school because my grandson came to school with black and blue marks on his neck because he claimed that his father had taken him by the throat and hit him against the wall and kicked him in his steel-toed boots. When I had picked up my grandkids at that time, my grandson was extremely upset, and he told me that one of the kids left the classroom, and when he came back, the door was locked, so he knocked on the door, and my grandson was so scared that he ran and hid underneath his teacher's desk. He thought his dad was there. He kept telling me, I thought it was my dad and I was in more trouble. Right now, my daughter has custody of the kids because he went to jail in October, and I'm afraid if we don't do something now, that they're just going to give them back to him again.
Why don't we do this then? So, you were with Elisa for how long?
6 years.
And how many kids do you have together?
3.
3 kids. And that's her mother on the tape.
Yes, it is.
And Elisa and the mother believes that you're abusing the kids. Okay?
I'm not.
I mean, why'd you think you would come to the show today?
Well, I'm aware of that.
Okay.
I'm aware that that's
They
the thing.
accuse, right.
Yeah.
I took a look backstage at some of the pictures of the injuries that happened to your children. Pretty graphic, right? Did you abuse your children?
No, I did not.
How do you account for all these injuries?
Well, first of all, the burns. I was helping a family member move, and I had a mattress in one arm, and my daughter was right there next to me because we were leaving. That was the last item. So I opened the door with the one arm that I had free and said, "All right, honey, jump in, buckle up." I throw the mattress in the back of the truck. I stepped to the back of the truck and said, "All right, is that it?" And the person said, "Yeah, that's it." All right. And as I turned back around from that brief moment, I seen smoke coming out of the passenger window because it was cracked. And I walked back in the truck, and my daughter's hair was on fire. So I put her bangs out, and I grabbed her out of the truck and I ran upstairs and put her under some cold water and was like kind of hysterical, you know, kind of like freaking out, like what happened?
Sure.
And she wouldn't tell me, so I put a cold rag on her head and I ran back out to the truck and she was sitting right there, like right inside the door on the stairs. And I found the mattress sitting on the seat and I come back in and I checked on my son. He was sleeping on the other side of the truck. What happened right here? What are these? Were you playing with these? And she's all, no. My brother did it. And at that point, I was like, honey, talk to me. Please tell me what happened. I mean, this is pretty bad. Like, and I'm still kind of upset and freaking out. And she didn't want to tell me, so I left it at that. Why was actually, at that time, I was being investigated for the incident with school. And I called the social worker immediately.
What was the incident?
At school?
Your son.
We actually were going to do a family thing. Like, we went and bought a football so we could all go out for a catch. Why I talked to my other son, my youngest son, and found out that football wasn't even at the house. It was at the school. My son tells me, oh, it's here somewhere, Dad. He goes and looks in his room. One time, I was like, all right. Oh, it's outside. It's got to be. And he knew it was at the entire time. I knew he was lying just by the way he was acting. And he's got a real bad habit for being very manipulative and lying. So I asked him again, like one-on-one. I sat down and asked him, hey, son, where's the football at so we can go play? And he's like, it ain't here. It's got to be somewhere. And I'm like, all right. Let him go look again. Fourth time he come back, he lied straight to my face. So I flicked him in the mouth and he got a little upset.
What do you mean flicked him?
I flicked him in the mouth because he was lying.
Like that?
Yeah, just like that. Because he was lying. Well, he got upset and called me some names and turned around to walk away. And I reached for him and I grabbed his shirt and there was allegations that there was a small bruise on the lower left side of his neck, which I'm not entirely, I mean, it's possible because I grabbed him.
A mark around his neck.
No, it was on the back.
Oh, on the back.
On the back, on the lower left of the back.
The daughter, though, I got to go back to this. That's a severe burn on her.
Yeah, and let me get back to that. Like, because it'd been like, a minute, maybe 2 minutes, and she lit her bangs on fire. So it burned for a second. Well, like I said, I put burn cream on it, and I dropped them back off with her mom at the time.
You didn't take her to the hospital after this?
I didn't. This picture right here was taken a couple days later.
Okay. But even so,
it didn't appear to be that bad at the time. It didn't blister or nothing, and I was actually running real close on my visit.
That didn't look like it was burned too bad when it initially.
But it wasn't. That wasn't initially like.
Oh, I know it didn't look like that, but still.
I had to drop her back off. Get out of it. So it's perfectly legal to discipline the kids.
That's not discipline. That's abuse. The children have bruises and marks on their back, legs, arms, neck, the horrible burn on your daughter's forehead, a broken foot.
Stayed out of it, so it's perfectly legal to discipline the kids.
That's not discipline, that's abuse. Where did the blowtorch come from?
I have no idea. That is something that came up a week later, 2 weeks later.
Now, we're talking about blowtorch like a lighter?
I don't know. And it's something Sands and Alyssa had stated